Because this is the thing. The only way venues will stop doing this is if bands together or big name bands would put a kibosh on it. Welcome to another episode from Takedowns to Breakdowns with A&P, and today we're here to talk about the topic that everybody's talking about on Twitter, merch cuts. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but when bands play at a venue, venues take a percentage of the merch sales, not of the profit, of the total sales. And those merch cuts could go from anywhere from 10% to 50%. Some venues charge 50%.
That's crazy.
That is crazy because the bands don't make a cut out of the booze. It's not like, hey, you know, we'll give you a percentage of our stuff and you give us a percentage of your stuff.
No, it's kind of a lose-lose situation.
It's a lose-lose situation, and for some of the bands, most of the bands that are playing small venues, we're not talking about the Guns N' Roses and Metallicas of the world, but for the smaller bands, that's pretty much their profit.
Yeah, they can't afford getting that 50% taken away from them.
Or even 20, or even 10. I mean, once again, it's not even of the profits, it's the total.
Yeah.
So, the latest band to talk about, or at least the latest band with a little bit of weight to talk about it, because I feel like one of the bands that's brought this more to the attention, to the mainstream attention of everybody, has been Bad Omens. They've been super vocal about it, but still paying said merch cuts. Now, the band that has followed and has been super vocal lately has been Architect. But I feel like this is becoming a little bit of an internet circle jerk amongst these bands. Because you complaining on Twitter, right? Creating a hashtag, telling all the other bands, hey, we should all get together and not paying merch cuts, while on tour paying said merch cuts. It's not going to take you anywhere.
No.
At some point in time, you got to put your money or the percentage that you're getting cut where your mouth is and do something about it. Either saying that, okay, we're going to tour, but we're not going to play venues that charge us those merch cuts. If that's the case, I don't know where the fuck they're going to play, because almost every venue charges those.
Yeah.
Or they have to come up with some creative ideas to bypass this issue.
Sell your merch outside the venue.
I don't know if that's legal, and I don't know if that's safe. Those are the two issues that you may encounter.
Especially what city you're in.
Depending on the city, depending on the neighborhood that you're in. I mean, depending on the size of the band. Because this is the thing. The only way venues will stop doing this is if bands together or big name bands would put a kibosh on it, right? Because let's look back at what happened with Napster. It took like the Metallicas of the world to take down Napster. And I don't think Metallica right now is really concerned about merch cuts. I mean, they make enough. Like, yeah. I don't think they give two shits. Neither does Guns N' Roses or because I don't see them or Judas Priest or Iron Maiden or Ghost talking about, no, because they probably account for it. That's why their merch costs what it does.
Yeah, because
so I don't see any of them losing any sleep.
Yeah,
and I just feel for metal bands, if you don't have those big boys pulling the strings and saying enough is enough, I don't care how many architects, how many Bad Omens of the world get together, shit is not going to change. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
You need one of those big bands to really talk about it and speak out.
And put some pressure on the venues.
Yeah.
Put some pressure on the venues.
I think you're never going to get no, what's it called, cut. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Unless truly everybody takes a stand. But I think the one thing you can do is probably lower it. Like, lower it for every venue.
I think there has to be, there's a way around, there's two ways around this. And I'm going to give you both. I'm going to give you guys both. I want your take on both. First way of solving this is having your management talking to the promoters and saying, okay, in your city, which venue does not charge merch cuts? And we'll take less of a cut to play at that venue, knowing that we're going to make the money on the merch. 100% of the money on the merch. So, for example, using Bad Omens as an example, or Architects, because they're the two that have been the most vocal lately, Bad Omens would say, okay, I'm coming to Toronto. What venue in Toronto can we play at that doesn't charge merch cuts? Now, the venue might be really small compared to where you could play.
Yeah.
But then you have to calculate, is it worth it for you? Maybe play 2 shows instead of 1 show. You know what I mean? So I think you have to redesign and redesign your approach. Contact the promoter in that city. Say, okay, we know this venue charges that venue. What venue does not charge or charge the lowest? That's where we're going to play. If we got to play 2 nights, we'll play 2 nights. If the demand is there for the 2 nights. But the merch is all ours. I think if you take that approach with the promoter,
you'll make more money.
I think you'll make more money. And I think that will put pressure on the venues that are charging merch cuts to cut it.
Or cut it all.
Or cut it, because it's like, wait a minute. Venue X is getting all the shows and we're not getting any show? If we don't get any show, we don't make any money. Because we're not selling any booze, nobody's coming here. So that is, people will only change their approach if it hits their pockets.
Yeah.
Bottom line. So one approach is contacting the promoters in the different cities. The management knows who they are because they do that anyways when they're setting up the tours. And figuring it out that way. That's solution 1. Maybe not the easiest of solutions.
I think it's the most effective one.
But it's the most effective one and perhaps the one that has the most long-term results coming from it. Solution number 2. Listen from the man himself, Yachty from Winter Sun. When they toured in North America the last time around, what they did was they offered VIP. Now, the catch was the VIP was free. You paid $100, but you could use that $100 towards merch purchases. All of that was paid to the band even before they went on tour. If there's no money exchange within the venue cannot charge you merch cuts because there was no merch being sold.
That's smart as fuck.
All right? So because most bands these days have VIP anyhow, why not create a VIP package that includes merch already, where the person buying the package can choose the size of the t-shirt, if they want a t-shirt, if they want a hoodie. Like, you can add as many things into your VIP pack. Like, you can create VIP packages for your fans to purchase before the tour starts. And this is good 2 ways. 1, you're making money before you even hit the road. You're guaranteed money before you even hit the road. Also lowers your cost on merch because now you're only buying for the VIP packages that were purchased.
That's true.
And if you tell people in advance that there will be no merch sold on this tour unless you buy the VIP package that comes with said merch included, people will buy the VIP package because they want the merch. Now, you have to be conscious that you can't charge $200 for the VIP package. You have to be conscious of how you're going to price it.
Yeah.
Maybe the VIP, the fact that they're meeting with you, it's kind of free on the fact that now you're not getting the merch cuts. Because if you think about it, the money you're losing on the merch, you're getting it back this way. So maybe it's time for you to give something to the fans at the same time.
A picture, anything. Like,
you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Exactly. Like $50. Something like that.
You can charge 100. Like, Winter Sun was 100. 150 for the VIP. The VIP includes the meet and greet. Most people that go to a show
they don't spend more than 100 though.
2 shirts is 100.
Yeah, so just 100.
But okay, but 100.
Or how about you put tiers 100 but it doesn't matter. Either way, you meet the band. It's you're paying more money for whatever.
You can have different tiers. Each tier has a different amount of merch in it. So if you just want the t-shirt tier, you buy the t-shirt tier with meeting the band, whatever. If you want the t-shirt and hoodie tier, whatever. You pick whatever tier you want. Now, if you guys want to be really cool and include the bands that are opening for you on that VIP package, so it's not just for the headliners, the headliner and the other band that's below the headliner or whatever, that's even better.
That's your most expensive one.
Yeah, you meet both bands, but now you're getting merch from both bands. So whatever it is that you want to package it, I think has a lot of upside. The only downside I see is that there's a lot of logistics behind it. But you're doing VIPs anyways. It's no different. It's just you taking the orders from the VIP before the tour starts, knowing how many XLs you need, how many of them, because everybody already pre-ordered. You get that done, and then your merch person that you're hiring anyways to go on the tour with you, instead of selling merch, their job is to do loot bags.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're doing. A little plastic bag with the logo of the band on it, with the shit that you bought in it. Here's the band, take a picture, here's your bag. Bob's your uncle. And that way you lose no money whatsoever, because there's no money being paid to the venue for the VIP meet and greet.
And you're not gypping your fans too. I mean, they're
still getting merch from the.
They're getting merch what they would have already purchased, and they're getting a free picture, a free meet and greet.
Plus, you're not stuck at the end of the tour with fucking 100 t-shirts with tour dates on it that nobody bought. This way, you're actually only making what you already sold.
That's true. You're not spending extra money on T-shirts.
That's it. If you need 100, you order 100. You need 200, you order 200. That's it. And there's no this thing of getting to the last leg of the tour, the last couple of shows, and there's no more medium sizes or XL size or whatever.
You have to order them in,
or because everybody already bought them in the first couple of in the first half of the tour. No, I think this is the way. The first option would be the best option because that would have long-term impact.
Yeah.
This way, you're kind of like being sneaky about it. You're being as dodgy as they are to you, but I think the message eventually would get around.
Yeah, so I think both in a way would help because then out of, the venue.
The question is, will then the venue charge them for the VIP meet and greet at said venue?
They can't do that.
I don't think they can do that
I don't
either.
think they can do that, no.
I don't think they can do that either.
Because technically you can do the fucking meet and greet outside. You don't have to do it in the venue.
You can do it on the tour bus.
Exactly.
Just send one person inside the tour bus, take the picture with everybody, get your bag and get out. You can do that too. I mean, there's many ways to skin the cat, so to speak.
Yeah.
I just think that Winter Sun was ahead of their time when they thought about this. Because, listen, bands these days, when they go on tour, there's a huge amount of expenses to begin with. If you can recoup some of those costs right off the bat.
Yeah, without even having to
step foot in a single venue. And then getting rid of the money that you're losing by paying the venue and putting everything in your pocket, why not do it? Now, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy and think that, I'm going to charge X. No, make it in a way that entices people
to buy it,
to buy that package because it includes the merch. And if you don't buy that merch in that package, you're not getting any merch at all.
Because normal meet and greets, they overprice it, but they're already selling merch at the venue. Don't overprice it. Make it a very reasonable price, and the meet and greet, make it free because you're giving back in a way, and you're making your money. Like
you're making more now because you're
making way more now. I mean, I feel like this would also help a lot of bands not lose money. I think
because there's also the merch cost. You have to order all of that shit.
But I think your first one works with bands who are more established.
Yes, but not with smaller tours.
Not with smaller bands.
Not with smaller tours.
I think like
the Architects could do it. Bad Omens probably could do it.
Yeah.
The amount of Marths of the world could do it. But the list is not very big.
No, the smaller bands would actually benefit more from the first one.
From the second one.
The first one.
How would they benefit more? It's harder for them to do the smaller bands. It's harder for them to have that pull.
What do you mean?
To get the promoters to find a venue that doesn't charge...
No, but the smaller bands are usually on tour with bigger bands. So what I'm saying is, in the long run...
Oh, they would benefit as well.
They would benefit way more from the first one than the second one.
I think they would benefit... immediately they would benefit from not having their merch cut.
Exactly. Because how hard it would be for a smaller band to sell their shit online when most people going to the show are going to discover them from the show.
I don't... Either option works well for...
Either option works. If you're going on a tour where it's like... If you're on a tour where it's like Bad Omens and Architects, I'll use them, and then like another band that's around the same tier, yeah, you could do the VIP thing because those bands are already basically established and people know them. So you can do the VIP thing for them. But if it's Bad Omens and some small band and another smaller band... and they're on tour, but Bad Omens is like the headliner, right? The VIP thing only would work for Bad Omens because the other two bands wouldn't be able to pull off that VIP. But the other one,
I know, but that's when Bad Omens includes the other two bands in their VIP package. I mean, listen, this is not just looking after yourself. This is looking after the ecosystem. It's time for this whole kumbaya, let's hold hands and create a hashtag is not going to fucking work. So you got to do something, but not do something just for you. Do something for everybody around you. So once again, if you're a band like Amon Amarth, Architects, and Bad Omens, using those three as an example, you perhaps have the pull to go with option one and look for a promoter in certain cities that will only have venues that don't charge merch cuts. Now, once again, this will probably limit the size of the venue, therefore you may have to play 2 shows. And then maybe then you have to calculate, is it worth the money that we're losing from playing into a smaller venue to a smaller crowd versus what we're losing on the merch? You have to do that math and see what's worth for you. But I think it's doable. Because that would put pressure on other venues to then lower their merch cuts. So maybe you'll have to take a bath on a tour or two, but eventually, if everybody did that, you would get to where you need to go. There's going to be pain and suffering. This is not going to come to you easy.
But I think
because
pain and suffering would pay off
long term.
Yeah, but I don't think it would take a long time to really set in. I think it would take 1 or 3. It would take like 1 or 2 big tours to really throw venues away. Like, well, we could have gotten this tour, but we didn't because of our cuts. We gotta
do something.
We gotta do something. We can't just wait, because now it's not just one band, one tour. It's another tour, another tour.
Yeah,
another
I agree.
Tour.
But then
I think a year or 2 years of the pain and suffering.
Or less than that.
Or even less than that. I think 1 year. 1 year of just tours that don't go to.
If they go 1 month without booking any shows because shows are being booked somewhere else, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. You gotta make money. You got bills to pay. You gotta pay rent and whatever. Like, you know. But then you have the second option. I think the second option is more doable. It's sneakier, but it's more doable. And I think it's better for everybody all around. Because, you know, like I said, you get the money up front. You know exactly what your costs are going to be, but you already got the money in your pocket to cover those costs. You got to take the merch guy or girl with you on the tour anyways. So let them make the loot bags the day before each show, have it all prepared and ready for the VIPs that come in. You're going to be there giving them the lanyards. I mean, this is so easy to put it together, seriously. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put it together. And the venue cannot touch you, because what you're giving away as part of your VIP package has nothing to do with merch sales. And there's just no merch sales. And if you announce that in advance, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Fans are going to buy. If I know, if I'm going to see Lorna Shore and there's no merch being sold, the merch is being sold online, and I pick it up there on the day as a VIP
and I get
thing
to meet the band.
Fuck, I'm buying it.
I'm buying because I get to meet the band. Like,
yeah, I'm buying it, and people will buy it. People will buy it.
But you don't. But I think.
But then hold on. That's when you, as the headliner, have to take the other bands under your wing.
I was gonna say,
and make them part of the package.
I was gonna say, when you're buying the merch, I think you should be able to not only buy Lorna Shore stuff or whoever's the headliner, you should be able to buy the other guys' stuff too, and then that adds to it. So technically, you're also just buying their. It wouldn't be a meet and greet with that other band, but you can still buy their merch.
And you can make multiple ways. You can make it all as one big bundle, and everybody splits everything equally. I'm sure most bands wouldn't want that, because there's a reason why they're the headliner, and there's a reason why the other band opening.
I think you would split it on what you sold of what band, and then that's just how it goes. Because technically, you wouldn't have sold any better selling it there, right? So you got to take the good with the bad.
I think there's going to be learning curves with this. There's going to be some growing pains, but the merch situation, doing it as a VIP, I think it's the way to go. Because if you show up to a venue and there's no merch table, the venue eventually they're going to get the hint that, hey, you know, we're charging too much. They're not selling merch here, and we got to figure something out. You know what I mean? So I honestly feel like for bands that are touring, that want to lower their costs, that want to have a little bit more of a budget that they can work with, not start a tour on the red, having that VIP package with merch included,
the VIP package would allow
where people pre-buy into it before you even go to the venue, before you even see a show. I think it's the way to go.
Because then some bands would start off not in the red. They'd start off already making money.
The other thing that this creates is you start to sell a lot of more tickets before the shows. There's not as much of ticket sales on the day of the show. People will pre-buy the tickets, which is also good for the bands, because then they know the shows are sold out. Everything becomes more organized ahead of you.
It also kind of it fucks over scalpers.
Yeah, but it also helps the promoters knowing, hey, this tour sold out really quickly. Guess what? Next time you guys go on tour, we want to have you guys back. And then you start to build a better relationship with the local promoters. And then then maybe the next step is what I said as option 1 becomes then option 2.
Yeah.
But go with this avenue first. I honestly don't know why bands are not doing it. I know it's difficult if a tour has 6 bands on it. I know it's difficult. How the fuck are you going to do that? But at the end of the day, that 6-band tour, you know, you have to think about the headliner as a headliner. What works for you? And then can we incorporate the other guys into it the best that we can in a way that is worth it for them? Maybe they want to have merch stand on their own. Fine, then they'll pay the cut. That's up to them. But I think if you as a headliner, because we're talking about bands that are headliners, if you as a headliner are upset about the current situation, then I think this is the right.
Take the little ducklings under your wing. Right?
I think you have to do that, and then I think you have to be proactive with the guys that are on tour with you. Like you said, have different tiers.
Yeah.
Have different tiers. You know what I mean? And maybe allow the other bands to have their own VIP meet and greet, where their own packages. So like if I'm a fan, like for example, 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗓 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗓 and 𝗙𝗢. Let's say I'm a big fan of 𝗙𝗢. I want to buy merch from them, so I buy their VIP meet and greet. I don't have to buy 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗓 or 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗓. You see what I'm saying? Like each band can have their own.
Yeah, each band would have their own. So you would have to set up a website for it, and then each band would have their own.
Every band has a website.
Yeah, but you can just set up a website easily. You set up a website for it. Each band has their own thing, so you can choose one or the other. You choose it, and then there's all the merch from all the bands. You choose what merches you want, and then that's the sum you pay. You're basically just paying for the merch. But you're choosing what band you wanna
yeah, like
have a picture with.
It's almost like an online store.
Yeah,
you choose whatever you want to buy.
The only thing is you get to have a picture with the band afterwards. Like
in this case, if you buy merch from all the bands, you get a picture with all of them. You know, whatever. Like I just think you can be super creative with this.
It's a way to give back to the fans, but also not be in the red.
And you're not spending any money on shipping. So like you can open up the
yeah, and you're also not losing money on the restocking of merch throughout the tour.
Yeah, you buy whatever you need because everybody bought in advance. You know what I mean? You have a website that's selling the merch. You're buying the merch. For the person buying, there's also not the cost of shipping because you're picking up at the venue
and not having their size.
Exactly. Everything is there for you. Honestly, these days I don't see a better solution. No, I honestly don't think. I think this is so doable. And once again, Winterson trailblazed it.
Yeah.
They were ahead of the curve. They were ahead of the curve, man. I'm telling you. But the great thing about them is that when they did the VIP for $100 and you got $100 in towards merch, people end up spending more because you go there. You have a credit for $100. You end up spending $150 because that $100 you already spent like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel
like you already spent that $100.
Yeah, it doesn't hit
your pocket. It almost feels like you have a free $100 to spend.
Yeah, so I mean, you could also do it that way. But you're gonna pay a percentage off of whatever you sell on that day, exactly. not on whatever you already did on the package.
So that's
just
the problem.
On that day.
You still don't want to.
No, because then you're still putting money in their pockets.
Exactly.
So you want to go just completely off the grid. I think it's the best solution, and I don't see why it couldn't be done. So these are my 2 ideas. I'm sharing them for free. Run with it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you all at the next one.
See ya.